I just got back from a preview screening for DreamWorks' latest film, The Wild Robot. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys, so let's get into it. I initially didn't have really any expectations for The Wild Robot until the TIFF screening started happening, and I heard a lot of buzz surrounding this movie. The letterbox curve looks absolutely terrific, and I heard so much praise about this being one of DreamWorks' best films, which is saying a lot because they are a generally quality studio that has so many hits under their belt. So I started having quite a few expectations going into this screening, and it managed to live up to that for the most part. The Wild Robot is a touching film that I genuinely had a great time with and was quite moved by. In a way, it made me feel like a kid again, and that is all I could hope for from this film. I wouldn't say the film does anything crazy out of the box. One of its biggest drawbacks is that it does play into some tropes that you see in a lot of animated films. Many predictable beats that have been played out a billion times. And I understand that, but there is something really touching within this narrative that really works. And from the opening moments, it does feel a little bit different from the way that some of the shots have been set up, the way that the animation has been drawn in that style, which, by the way, looks fantastic within this film. I just feel like animators are getting better and better as the years go on, and this film is just such proof of that because it looks absolutely terrific. It throws you straight away into the perspective of the main character, and from there, it manages to build out its narrative. It starts off quite chaotic, but once it settles down, it finds a really nice rhythm and goes into some really touching territory about so many different things, such as nature versus nurture, the upbringing of a family, the relationship that a mother has with their child, and then finding a sense of community. All of these things are explored within The Wild Robot in really nuanced and beautiful ways that are accessible to both children and adults. And once again, that is all you're really asking for from an animated movie from DreamWorks. I think they absolutely did a fantastic job of capturing all of these different things so that adults can be moved by as well as children. There were many children in this preview screening, and you could hear so many laughs and them really paying attention to this movie, which is not something that you see all that much with some movies. The protagonist, at first, I wasn't too sure if I was going to connect with her until we started getting deeper into the movie. It was starting off as really robotic, very uncaring, and it was hard to sort of follow it and be connected to it because of that. But as this film develops, as this character develops, you slowly realize that you're getting really pulled into the movie and connecting so much with that character. And there are some fantastic moments within this film between her and this little family that she has. Some real touching moments, some moments that will make you cry. I could hear people audibly sobbing in this screening. It may not have that drastic of an impact on you, but you will be touched by a lot of these moments because they are genuinely moving. And there may be some manipulative aspects of that, which I will get into right now because I kind of liked what it did, and that is the score for this film. This may sound like a very DreamWorks-esque score, but I absolutely loved it, and it does play a massive role in drawing these big emotions out of you and capturing the importance of a scene. I really loved the score for this film. Despite how manipulative it may be, it worked on me, so I don't really care. I was happy that it got a reaction out of me and made me feel something with these beautiful scenes that are wonderfully animated with this fantastic character work. Another thing I really appreciated here was the humor within the film. Sometimes it goes to some slightly more darker territory than what I was expecting. Nothing too crazy where a kid can't enjoy it, but it was really great in getting a lot of the parents and the older audience members to get a real laugh out of them. There was one moment in particular that really went for something a tiny bit more edgier in terms of something dying. Once again, it goes into nature and everything like that. So it's not grotesque or anything like that, but it is just funny in a slightly more darker sense that I thought paid off really well. And it does manage to have a nice twist on it that it is still so friendly for kids to watch. And that was a lot of the beauty that went into this film. It doesn't shy away from showing nature as what it is, what it does. You know, there's predator and prey. They live in a harsh reality. And to showcase that in such a touching way in this beautifully made family movie, I couldn't have asked for more. They did such a great job at, once again, illustrating that and then giving you all of these touching scenes that make you connect with these characters with such great humor, great moments. I just couldn't be more impressed with how it handled a lot of that. And once again, helping you draw you in to these characters so that you feel some kind of way about them when it starts going for these big emotional moments near the end of the movie, with some great montages and some scenes that will stick in my mind. Going into negatives, I once again want to reiterate that this doesn't reinvent the wheel. If you're expecting something completely unique here, it's not going to give you that. It does play into a lot of tropes that you see within the animated family genre of movies. Certain sequences I've seen in plenty of other DreamWorks movies and other animated films, and this doesn't really handle those moments all that differently. And those were the moments that did take me out of the movie and made me just go, really, we're going there? And there were some moments within the third act that I didn't necessarily need just because I was really engaged with the character work and it starts going for some more action-oriented moments. And I still think the kids were connecting with the character moments and how it connects with nature because it is done so interestingly and so entertaining. So it doesn't really need big action sequences with explosions or anything like that. But when it starts doing that, it did take me out again just because I don't think it was needed for this film. It felt like it was overcompensating a little bit trying to do that. They're fine enough. I don't hate them. They do work well within the movie, but I just think we didn't necessarily need those moments. Overall, The Wild Robot is a fantastic film, and I do think it will get an animated feature Oscar nomination, and deservingly so. I don't think it's going to get the win. I do think something like Inside Out 2 is such a juggernaut and something that connected with so many people, including myself, that I think that is definitely the front runner. But this I do see as a lock for a nomination in that category, and I think it's deserving. I think it is a genuinely touching film. It's not one of DreamWorks' greatest films. It's not on the level of a Shrek or Kung Fu Panda or How to Train Your Dragon, but it is a rung beneath them. And that is saying something because it is a great film that is so worthy of your time. And if they do make a second one of these, I would be very glad to watch it because this has given me nothing but goodwill. I love these characters. I think they're all fantastic and I would love to see more of them. With some just fantastic voice work, great direction, they're animated beautifully. Yes, it can be a little generic at times, but the message is so profound and just so accessible to families that what more could you ask for from a DreamWorks film? As a score, I'm going to give The Wild Robot a 4 out of 5 because I do think this film is great and is one of the best animated films of the year. And those are my thoughts towards The Wild Robot. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And what's your favorite DreamWorks movie? Any suggestions? I'd love to hear them. Remember to like and subscribe. And if you're a fan of this channel, please consider clicking the join button below and becoming a member. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.